reasonable and correct? I mean, that's an interesting question for 538 to address since we do forecasting and stuff like that. And I kind of go one branch at a time here. I think in the Senate, people's expectations were a little bit misaligned with actually what the data said. If you look at our House model, there's a big range of seats, but there are a lot of outcomes where Democrats would win 50 or 51. There were also outcomes where they would win more than that, but the center of the distribution was Democrats winning 50 to 52 seats. Now they wind up with between 48 and 50. So it's like there are all these races that look plausible, like South Carolina or Alaska or whatnot, but not many of these Senate races individually were terribly major upsets.
Well, of course, Iowa and Maine to a certain extent.
First of all, our model had Gideon was only a 59% favorite in Maine. Joni Ernst was a 58% favorite in Iowa, so that was correctly predicted. The biggest upsets in North Carolina where Cunningham was a 68% favorite. But, having a 1 in 3 chance is not really that big an upset. So I don't know. I think people don't realize that A, in a lot of these states, it was a very uphill battle for Democrats, like red states like South Carolina. B, also in some of these states, the polling kind of didn't finish as well for Democrats as it had been over parts of the summer. And so I just kind of object to the notion that the Senate was hugely surprising.
Okay. I take that objection. And we've had this conversation to some extent before. And so I think that's important to say up front. However, we now have a situation where Joe Biden won the popular vote nationally handily. He had a pretty good map as far as the Electoral College goes. Yet, it looks like Democrats may well not take control of the Senate. If we look at redistricting this coming year, Republicans are going to have control over redistricting 43% of the seats, Democrats only 17% of the seats, of course, the rest by commissions or whatnot. So regardless of what expectations were based on polling, et cetera, because we've already had that conversation to some extent, there is something going on here where Democrats can perform reasonably well nationally, but not do so well down ballot. And maybe that's the more interesting question, or more the question that we want to get at in this conversation. Why is that?
I mean, I'm trying to count how many states that Joe Biden won. If you have 2 senators for every state, and California counts the same as Wyoming, then that creates a pretty big disadvantage for Democrats. I mean, you have very little split ticket voting anymore. The one Republican who benefited from it was Susan Collins. Biden actually won Maine by a fairly large margin. But I believe every other contest tracked with the presidential result, leaving Georgia uncalled for now. And so if that happens and you have Republicans winning all these rural red states and having 2 senators from Wyoming and Idaho and North Dakota and South Dakota and whatever else, then it becomes very hard for Democrats to win the Senate. Even in a year that was kind of a landslide in the House for Democrats in 2018, Democrats actually lost seats in the Senate. So that just makes life fairly tough for Democrats. Now, there was a little bit of underperformance. It looks like Democrats will end up winning the U.S. House popular vote by around 3 points versus 4.5 points for Biden, roughly, in the presidential vote. So that means that to the extent there is some ticket splitting, that there are some people who would not indulge and abide by Trump, but who would vote for maybe more moderate Republicans or less Trumpy Republicans down ballot. But a lot of this has to do with the fact that, structurally, it's tough for Democrats to win the Senate, given that each state has equal numbers of senators.
So I was going to cite that popular vote number because I think that's important to come to, which is that in 2018, the national House race margin, Democrats won by about 8.6 points, almost 9 points. Versus in 2020, as Nate said, Biden won by 4, so less than 9, and the Democrats won by 3 overall in the House race. So in some ways, the overall Democratic margin was just much smaller, even at the presidential level. 2018 was a big Democratic win. 2020, the presidential level and the House level was less of a Democratic win. Ron Brownstein did quite a good piece in The Atlantic, and his estimate is that Joe Biden won about 223. It might go up to 225 House districts. So meaning that it wasn't like Biden overexceeded the vote by that much. So if you're 225 for Biden, the House Democrats look like they'll get about between 223, 225. They'll get the same number of House seats. Part of the issue you're seeing is the number of split ticket voting in all these races is getting much smaller. Like Nate said, the only Senate place where we have a presidential race went one way and the Senate went another way so far is Maine. That's one state that had a difference in the results between president and Senate in terms of who won. At the House level, it looks like we're going to have the lowest number of seats where the one party won the presidential and one party won the House than ever before. It looks like, per Brownstein's count, you'll have about 10 districts where Trump won, but there's a Democrat, and about 10 districts where Biden won, but there's a Republican. So about 20 total split districts. So in a certain way, what you're seeing is the Democratic underperformance was in a lot of ways just the Democratic performance at the presidential level and the House level aligning really strongly. And the way we are now is that doesn't create a very large Democratic majority versus in 2018, the Democrats won a lot of seats in Trump country, probably seats they were always going to have a hard time retaining.
Is maybe a way to put it, and I think maybe Brownstein sort of says this, is that some of these results, the lack of ticket splitting is just people further falling into those, I guess, geographical categories of Republicans win rural or ex-urban places and Democrats win cities and suburbs. Because I think that's the qualitative point that people, I think, are starting to talk about, which is why can't Democrats hold on to some of these reddish places or purplish places, once purplish places?
But look, Democrats came in an environment where they won the House popular vote by 9 points in 2018. But a midterm is different. In a midterm, you don't worry about ticket splitting because there's no presidential race in a midterm. So you can have a little bit more crossover voting. Obviously, although turnout was very high in 2018 relative to other midterms, much lower than in a presidential year. So in some ways, you can say, okay, how are the Democrats doing in the House as compared to 2016, which is the last presidential year?
Return to the app to start your Pandora Premium session.
Let's go!
Go! Yes.
Come on, bro.
I love this game.
Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, yo. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will.
Wendy's didn't start the chicken wars. They just ended them with Wendy's new classic chicken sandwich. Nothing beats this classic. Grab it now in Wendy's 2 for $5.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
I know something you don't, that's me coming for you. You want war, we got war, we just wanna warn you. I know something you don't, that's me coming for you. You want war, we got war, we just wanna warn you. War for war, bodies that hit the ground. You ready for us, cause it's about to go down. Push them to the left, push them to the right, load the choppers up, hit them on sight, never turning back, I'd have been in hell and back. Running out of guns, no, never heard of that. I ain't never ran from a gunfight, this is you and me, mano y mano, you're damn right. Don't act like you don't know what I came for. Too late to turn back, this is the payback, yeah. You take one, I take one. You can't hide, you can't run. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah.
Respiratory begging for relief. I don't let them breathe. Going hard. I'm my own boss. Many ain't believe. Filling out an item. Appearing up out of thin air. Talking everything that's in front of me. Now they under me. Rushing me to respond. Stay straight away. How I tunnel me. Took a leap of faith. Bunch of caught about to give out. Nowadays, whatever you say, you gotta live out altitude. Having parachute failure. We got a problem. Throw a set of wings or die when you hit the bottom. Never pray to God. But never too late to try you. Shots fired. Allen Iverson in the league. They say I ball hog and I'm not a part of the team. Breadwinner with these winners built the regime. Taliban weapon in hand, kill everything. Amphetamines alter the state of a better means. I'm beautiful but known for the dope like Medellin. Don't act like you don't know what I came for. Too late to turn back. This
This is the payback. Yeah, you take one, I take one. You can't hide, you can't run. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, don't act like you don't know. The one I came for. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, you take one, I take one. You can't hide, you can't run. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah.
Dressing all black like a funeral. Murder, homicide, on the ride, get the residuals. Letting off 5 for residuals. 365 when I grind for residuals. 45 magnum in the ram with them. Rat-a-tat-a-tat, let the blam hit 'em. I scream fuck the whole world and put a bomb in the finger on the trigger, trying to put my whole arm in. I just want revenge, I just want revenge. We get it poppin', yeah. They took away my happiness, they tryna take my head away. You gon' be mad, you gon' be playing my mind, that causing us a harm.
Don't act like you don't know. The one I came for. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, you take one, I take one. You can't hide, you can't run. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, don't act like you don't know. The one I came for. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, you take one, I take one. You can't hide, you can't run. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah.
Falling too fast to prepare for this. Tripping in the world could be dangerous. Everybody circling as vultures. Negative, nepotist. Everybody waiting for the fall of man. Everybody praying for the end of times. Everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run, I was born for this. Whip, run me like a racehorse. Pull me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up. I wanna be.
pretty much fucking dead.
Everybody thinking they got it, but all I see is robotics. If you make away from the jump, rappers are hopping. Wonder if it's really real, all the love that you're giving me. Do you really want a friend, or are you scared to be enemies? I do this on my own, independent, no label. I do the horse work, yeah, nothing is stable. Demons wearing these halos, don't believe every angel. Nothing's fate till it's fatal, flip the script, be the staple, yeah. Let me keep it real with you, say you the top pick, but you ain't the topic of discussion. Bunch of rappers talk a lot of nonsense, so just funny, I can't even understand it, man. I wanna know what happened, look what rap's turning into. No skills with a beat that they feed you. 16-year-old kids fitting into. See through, I'll be there before you ever see me be you. Yeah, doesn't matter what I say or what I write about. All that really matters are the values that I write about. If you're saying things that you don't know of, I'ma call you out. Don't you say you know me off a couple things you heard about. Yeah, trying to make it ends meet. I'm trying to write the simple things that you can't see. You start accepting defeat when you care more about your feet than any journey you see and all the steps that you need. What could I paint the world when they don't see the picture? If you got what you wanted, do you think that it'll fix you? Never knowing what you had until you lose it, and it hits you. Never know what you can reach until you take a shot and miss it. I'ma always do me. Only time I really lose when I lose sleep. Salivating when I hear a beat, let's eat. Oh, you don't see the wave, let's see. I used to hit up every blog, waiting like, oh well. Had a flash drive, took it to a concert.